Prep skin. We are using a hydrating rosewater spray to add moisture to the skin. Next, apply foundation. Start in the middle of the face and work your way out. This way, you don't get product buildup around the outside of your face and the coverage looks more natural because most of us just need the most coverage in the middle anyway. Use a stippling motion to buff and work the product into the skin. Conceal and Brighten. Use a concealer about 1 shade lighter than your foundation color under the eyes and work your way down the cheekbones a little. This adds some brightness to the under eyes and helps to conceal dark circles. Use a medium-sized soft brush to pat the concealer into the skin. This helps to blend the product and prevent creasing later. Now, set foundation and concealer with powder. Use a fluffy brush to lightly dust and pat translucent powder into the skin, thus setting the foundation and concealer and absorbing oil and shine. Prime the lids. Use an eye primer or concealer to prep and prime the lids for eyeshadow by giving them a base to stick to. Once you've laid down your primer or your concealer and evenly blended it all over the lid, lightly dust a translucent powder to set the concealer or primer to prevent eyeshadow creasing later. Use a matte copper shadow all over the lid. We're using copper as our base color because of the orange tones. In order to bring out blue eyes, we want to use a color that's opposite on the color wheel from blue, which happens to be orange. Because the colors contrast, they make one another stand out more, thus making the blue eyes pop. Next, add a mid-tone, warm brown shadow to the crease to create subtle definition and to continue with our warm orangey toned color palette. Use a clean, fluffy crease brush in circular motions to blend out any harsh edges. Darken the outer corner. To add even more definition and dimension to the eye, we're using a deeper shade of brown than our crease color just in the outer corner. Use a matte, cream-colored highlight under the brow bone. White tends to look too stark with our warm color palette, so we're using a cream-colored matte eyeshadow to highlight under the brow bone and in the inner corner of the eyes. This helps to bring light to the eyes and make the eyes pop even more. Add a little copper shimmer on the lid to act as a highlight. Define your brows. Use a matte eyeshadow the same color as your natural brow hair with an angled brush to fill in and shape brows. A quick guide for filling in brows is to first go through and lightly line the shape of the brow, then go back in and fill in the brow, adding more coverage where needed. Finally, brush a clean spoolie through brows to evenly disperse the shadow and get rid of any harsh lines. Winged liner. This is really going to make those eyes pop. Use a thin brush and slow stroking motions to run a black gel liner along the upper lash line. Try and stay as close to the lash line as possible, as if you were drawing right on top of the lashes. One way to create a cat eye is to start where you'd want the end of the wing to be and draw a line connecting it down to the base of the lashes. From here, you can build up the wing to be either as thin or as thick as you want it to be. Always try to have the wing start thicker at the base of the lashes and get thinner as it goes to the tip of the wing, as if it's fading away. Staying within our warm contrasting color palette, we're going to create a smoky chocolate lash line. Run a chocolate colored eye pencil along the bottom lash line, only going to about halfway in. This keeps the eyes open and wide, as going all the way to the inner corner can often close off the eyes. Next, use a pencil brush to lightly smudge out the liner, creating a soft, smoky effect. Highlight the inner corner of the eye by running a highlighting shadow along the inner bottom lash line and in the inner corner itself to continue to make the eyes look wide open and bright. Use a good black mascara to lengthen, define, and add volume to the lashes. Don't forget those little bottom lashes. Warm up the face and add a light contour by running a matte bronzer down the temples of the forehead and just underneath the cheekbones. Go back and soften any harsh lines with a buffing brush. Add a light peachy toned blush to the apples of the cheeks to add a little flush. Finish off the look with a pinky nude lip. We're trying to keep the emphasis of this look on the eyes, but the pink undertone will help to keep the lips warm and not washed out. Beautiful in blue.